Virgo Sun and Virgo Ascendant for August 2018. Virgos, we got some work to do, but the work that you do is for the greater good of humanity. So I beg you to hang in there. We're going to start with your first house. We have Venus there, trying to show love to a place that is not always so welcome because we're so overcritical to ourselves, more importantly than others. So here's a time that's forcing us to love ourselves. Take a little bit extra time in that bath, in that shower. Throw some extra bubbles in that bubble bath. Light an incense stick. Masturbate more. I don't know. That was uncalled for. Uncomfortable. My dearest lady friend is here next to me, a Virgo herself. I can just see her over there over-criticalizing me right now.
I masturbated.
And then, I don't want to hear about how much you masturbate. That makes me feel like less of a man. Sometimes the Virgo tells you stuff you don't want to hear, but you need to hear it. I'm sorry you just had that look into my life. Too personal. But you know, with Venus in your first house, this is asking you to get it personal. Now let's move through your second house, money. Things are pretty balanced and fair. That's good. Into your third house, how you deal with your siblings. With Jupiter finally stopping its retrograde move and going forward. Perhaps even blessings coming from relatives, from your brothers and sisters, your close circle, your network. Also things coming to the light from your brothers and sisters that is a little bit uncomfortable, but it's for the healing. Into your fifth house, we have your fathering, how you father your children. We have Saturn there, so perhaps it asking you that energy is a little bit more harsh on you right now. You're trying to express your creativeness and take the stage, but you have this Saturnalian energy that is criticizing you, but also asking you to refine and think Mercury in retrograde before you act, so that when you act, it has more power. With Mars coming in retrograde into that sign to touch down on that, to give you that added energy that you lost, but to go forward in a more orchestrated way, and to do that with that power of a deep transformative time. This is a very much time for a rebirth, to be a child again, to come out of, kind of shake off your skin and to be reborn like a child, so that you can go back into the spotlight with renewed shine and to give to the community in that Aquarian way. Your seventh house, marriage. We have Neptune in Pisces. So it giving way towards beautiful romance in your relationship and your marriage, but also perhaps being deceived and thinking that you're married to somebody who doesn't even know you exist. Honey, why are you sneezing during my stuff? Shut up.
You shut the fuck up.
The Scorpio and the Virgo relationship is a fated one.
It's a true one.
If you're a Scorpio, rising ascendant, or sun,
I'm a Scorpio ascendant.
you're going to have more mates that are Virgos, especially if you're male to female. And then you're going to have an Aquarius father, probably. A Gemini, Pisces mom. Pisces sisters and brothers and sisters, and best friends that are Capricorns. Into our 8th house, we have Chiron there. This is probably the toughest place for Chiron to be, because he's going to have more power to go into those dark emotions but to make you go through that wounding so that you could be healed, and then not only be healed personally, but bring that healing power out to others. But now it's doing that behind closed doors to bring you to Uranus and your higher level of learning, to learn things and have spiritual awakenings. Right now is such a great time for a spiritual awakening that you never saw coming. In your 10th house, how you're seen in your career really isn't being affected that much right now. Going into your 11th house of how you're the mother to this Aquarian age, is you have other aspects aspecting that really aren't focused on that right now because you're preparing for that. And then into your 12th house, what's hidden? The sun. And then what's happening? A solar eclipse. So it's blocking out the sun in a place where the sun is already blocked out pretty much. That's very complicated. And we have the North Node there, and then we also have Venus there for the moment moving forward. So this is a lot of energy towards you in your meditative world. I would recommend meditate, yoga a little bit more than now, dream journal a little bit more than now, and you're going to find things that have been hidden that will come to the light, and things that need to be in the light will be put in the dark. Feelings of loneliness and solitude, and also feelings of a great connectedness with the whole. It's a very axiomatic, paradigmatic place for y'all right now. But we also need you to be the maternal nature, beautiful Virgo that you are right now. Farewell. Oh, let's pull some cards. We got only 7 minutes. I felt like I was just doing that for 70 minutes. Pray tell, Astro, wake me. Yes, Mercury in retrograde can get us caught up in our minds right now. Make sure to think before you speak. Think before you leap. And now let's have a little bit of help from our precious spiritual guides. The world at our hands. Fixed signs are being affected right now. Here we have the eagle, which is Scorpio. There we fixed water. There we have Aquarius, fixed air. There we have fixed fire, Leo, where we are. There we have fixed Taurus. And we have a square going on now in the sky. Now, if we're able to master that, then we could be the master of the world instead of having the world be the master over us. Crossing this energy, we have the Emperor asking for you to use your fiery self more, and to not be so overcritical, but to trust in the universe and to trust in yourself, most importantly, that when you're leaping, I told you to look before you leap, but now this is telling you to trust, because usually you're overcritical, and so you think too much before you leap. So now perhaps the rest of the world is saying be retrograde. Keep on doing that, but then towards the later half of this month, we're asking you to leap in a balanced way. One last card to finish this off. We have that anxiety state and that self-doubt that we have to get over, and that worriness that we have to get over. And we have to not worry about being the person in poverty, but think about how we could help that person in poverty. And we have to be mentally acute and cut the things off that no longer serve us. Acceptance, loneliness, surrender. Accept the things that you can change. Change courageously the things that you can, and have the wisdom and power to know the difference with Jupiter and Scorpio, making a pleasant aspect to you, sextiling you. Last card, Judgment. judge not overly yourself so that you paralyze yourself, but also be a good judge of the things that you go into. Don't overly sacrifice yourself, which you often do, Virgo. Shut up, honey. What she does all the time is she gives herself away too much, and then she gives herself up to being used and abused. So judge the situation so that you're not the person getting used and overexerting yourself so that you're the victim, and don't give yourself into that victim mentality. Give yourself into that warrior mentality where the world is at your disposal and you are the emperor and the empress. Have a great August.